Hey there, and welcome to my channel, The Paperbag Investor. Today I want to look at a video that Andrew Left of CITRON Research put out yesterday on his short position in Lemonade. I'm a long-term Lemonade investor right now and excited about the stock, so I want to give you guys my thoughts and reactions to some of the highlights of his video. So let's get into it. Before I go any further, I just want to make it absolutely clear, I'm not a personal financial advisor, just a guy with a paper bag on his head who loves investing and thinking about the future. If you love investing, you love thinking about the future, I encourage you, hit that subscribe button down below, follow along with my channel as it grows, and become a better investor with me. Can't guarantee your portfolio's performance, but it's in the bag that subscribing to my channel should help you see things from more perspectives, see new principles in investing that you maybe hadn't considered before, and ultimately become a better investor, which should help your portfolio over time. So definitely subscribe if you get value out of this video. So let's launch into these clips. I'm going to play a bunch of different clips and then give you my reaction to each one from this Andrew Left of CITRON Research, his video. And first off, I want to say I think it's really important to try and look at others' perspectives, especially people that have opposing viewpoints to your own, to see where you could have flaws. This applies to really all of life, but trying to look with an open mind at other people's perspectives and see and try and understand their perspective and their thought process to see if there's something wrong, if there's anything flawed in your own logic, really can help you find what's actually true in life, what actually is a great investment, and what isn't. So let's look at this these clips with an open mind, and here we go.
So we all know Lemonade's expensive. That's not even a thought. The stock trades at a higher multiple than Zoom or Uber or Tesla, and it's just an insurance company. I think it's like 18 times book. Normal insurance company's 1.2. Would put the stock at like $12.
So his first argument here is that Lemonade's very expensive, which is true by any sort of traditional accounting metric, and if you're looking at this, comparing this to other industry giants that have existed for hundreds of years, definitely true. And I think you could make possibly the short-term case for maybe shorting this stock just based on its price alone and based on how the market might gauge it. I wouldn't do that. To me, it feels like the price is where it is, or hovering where it is, because there's a lot of investors that are seeing that this kind of a company, just an insurance company, as he says, really could be a monster, huge company over time. So to me, trying to short a stock like this sort of feels like you're picking up pennies in front of a freight train. And I'm a little bit wary already from this clip. I'm really hoping when I watch this, I was really hoping I would see sort of first principles, fundamental business analysis. What is Lemonade, the business itself? Let's talk about the details of it and really think about it from a first principles perspective, what it could look like, what it could become. But many analysts, and I did a video on this, I'll link it down in the description, but I did a video on this idea of thinking by comparison, where all you do is compare something to something else, and you don't actually try and boil down and look at the more first principle analysis of a company itself. You're always just comparing it to other things, and this is how many analysts do their analysis, and I think it can really lead you astray. So those are just a few comments on that clip.
First, let's look at how Lemonade describes themselves. If on the New York Stock Exchange website, they say, meet Lemonade. It's the global insurance provider that's reinventing insurance through technology and placing social good. So let's first look at this technology, as they call machine learning technology. It's called Zendesk. They've spent $15 million, that's 1.5, on technology in the past 2 years. Their version of technology is when I went to go sign up and I put my birthday in, it said, hey, cancers rule. This is as much of a technology company as WeWork was a technology company. It's an insurance company. State Farm, Progressive, Allstate, they all have chatbots. They all have the ability to go ahead and write insurance online. It's completely ridiculous.
So I find his arguments in this clip not very compelling to someone who's trying to look at Lemonade again from the first principles perspective, looking at the company itself. I don't think it's true that other giant companies that have a lot of bureaucracy, have a lot of moving parts, have a lot of people that if everything went AI, went completely digital, would actually lose their jobs. I don't think companies like that are very motivated to change. It's trying to try and turn a huge barge of a ship, versus Lemonade's like a little tugboat doing little donuts, and they can change their course and destination and make changes to things. I just don't think these other large legacy insurance companies really can make this sort of digital chatbots and digital infrastructure as streamlined and as excellent as Lemonade has already built. Because again, there's conflicts of interest in those larger companies, because if they really did make it as good as Lemonade made it, people would lose their jobs. Lots of people would lose their jobs. So they're not motivated internally to do that. But a company like so to just kind of dismiss that and say, yeah, anyone can do online insurance, I think is really missing the point of what Lemonade brings and some of the special sauce that they bring. And you can also see this when you read customer reviews on other insurance companies and you just talk to people in general. They're quite negative. There's a mix of some positive, but quite overall kind of distasteful. But when you read customer reviews on Lemonade, they're not 100% like anything. They're not perfect, but they're overwhelmingly positive. People have an excellent experience with them, and experience with the chat box, experience with the whole infrastructure, how it's built, how you can get a quote very quickly. You can get your insurance your package purchased very quickly, and you can submit a claim and oftentimes get it paid back to you very quickly as well. And this is not the case with other insurance companies. If it was as simple as he's claiming, everybody would have that already, or they'd have it in the next few months, or they'd already have it. Lemonade's been around for several years already. So I think this kind of dismissive attitude really misses the point.
This particular company is not doing it at all. As for socially responsible, I'm sure you've seen this. Out of all the money, how much money did Lemonade give? Yesterday, they sold 4.5 million shares of stock. Insiders have sold $400 million. $400 million in the past 6 months. Last year, they gave $1 million to charity. Just because you put Black Lives Matter website up on your site, or just because you want to go create some cute, fun things that you think are attracting or going with the zeitgeist, does not make you a socially responsible company whatsoever. And the reason why it's important for the FTC to regulate this is because if you look at the fine print, you'll see, sure enough, that Lemonade is not giving all the money that they say they're giving. They'll say how little they are giving. It says in the but you have to look within it closely. Every company will start going out and promoting themselves as a social good company.
First off, I want to say I think this clip is a little bit funny, because I've heard some people that are bearish on Lemonade actually make the argument that, wow, this charitable giving is scary stuff. I would not want to invest in a company like this that's structured in this way. This is really terrifying to think of an insurance company that's structured in this way. So I'm bearish on the company for that reason. And now this guy at CITRON, he's saying that actually he's basically making the argument they're not giving enough to charity. They're not giving enough. So they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes as investors and as the world. Which I think is just really sort of two-sided. Either way, that's sort of flawed logic to me. I've actually been thinking about Lemonade, sort of thinking, I wonder how much in general they would actually give to charity. It might not be as much as you think, because if you take a 25% take, and then the 75% remaining of the premiums goes to paying out claims, and the rest goes to charity, whatever's left over. Maybe, obviously, Lemonade could kind of structure it in a way that the amount they charge, they take 25%, and then it's 73% remaining of the premium goes on average. Maybe they know over so much time pays out to premiums, and then 2% goes to charity or something, right? So it might not be as much as you think, but that doesn't mean they're still not doing social good. And I don't think it doesn't mean that people can't read that and understand that as a free market. And of course, there's companies that sort of advertise a social good and make a big claim about that, but maybe it's not as good as people think at first. But I think that's just part of a free market, part of business, part of the attraction of the company. I think it is still a good idea, because there's going to be a part for Lemonade that goes to charity, and they're trying to make kind of instead of just two-party relationship, a three-party relationship where that person is motivated to not make false claims. That's the big reason why they have that charitable aspect.
You want to know what this company is? It's playing on you. It's playing on the millennial investors. Go look at their Twitter from just 2 days ago. This is how they want to appeal themselves. You should buy insurance through Lemonade because insurance is effing awesome. And they actually use the F word. In 20 years, I've never used the F word for no other reason but just respect for the process. Insurance is effing awesome. That's their differentiating factor between them, Progressive, and State Farm.
I don't really care as an investor if they do that. They're trying to be edgy. What I care about and what I want to look at, and unfortunately I didn't see a lot of in this 7-minute video he put out, was actual analysis of Lemonade, the company themselves, and what makes them special. And is it truly going to make them special or not? And how do they differentiate that from their competitors? How could they grow and scale over time? What could they look like over time? That's the kind of analysis I like to look at. I think is much more important than a lot of what we saw here in these video clips today, which was much more kind of directly comparing Lemonade to other insurance companies, really easily, quickly dismissing any advantages Lemonade had. He had that clip where he said anybody can build a chatbot. No, not anybody can build a chatbot and a digital infrastructure that's as excellent as Lemonade's has. I didn't even mention earlier that part of having that perfect infrastructure is that they don't need all the brokers all around the world. They can just scale across the world. It's kind of like Tesla. They don't need all the car dealerships. They just get it shipped from the factory directly to your home. And I want to make this comment too. The whole video I found interesting. Again, it's important to really think about others' perspectives and see if they make sense or not. And if I think back to 2008, I was really looking at Tesla as closely as I could, and I tried to look as many short sellers' theses at that time because there was a lot of really vocal short sellers for Tesla a couple years ago. And in general, I always found their analysis to consist of basically comparing directly to competitor automakers and dismissing any advantages Tesla might have. That was it, over and over and over again. They're too expensive. Look, they're just like, look at all the other automakers. They're already worth more than all the other automakers. They're worth more than them combined. And then but then any advantages is they just say, oh, it doesn't matter. They're just selling cars. No. They're selling an EV revolution. They didn't consider that, EVs are the future, that governments all around the world are going to be pushing for electric vehicles. They didn't consider the fact that you can sell electric vehicles for a much higher price tag and people can still afford it because the overall cost of ownership can still be less. They didn't consider that electric vehicles are a superior product in terms of performance and safety. They didn't consider that there's no dealerships for Tesla, so they cut out that whole segment that people is expensive and the customers don't even like. They don't consider that Tesla is the number one. Tesla and SpaceX are the number 1 and 2 spots for engineers all across the world. The number 1 and 2 companies that engineers want to work at. They didn't consider that. They just gloss over all those advantages and say it's a car company, just like every other car company. And I see the same kind of behavior from this guy, what's his name, Jeff Left or whatever his name is, from CITRON Research, where he just kind of glosses over all the potential advantages that Lemonade has. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video and on his little video and thoughts on CITRON as well. Let us know in the comments down below. Again, if you like this video and you got value out of it, please subscribe. Also hit that like button, smash the like button, helps the algorithm, helps my little channel grow. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching.